Welcome to Short Stories with Lola, a space where we honor vulnerability, healing, and the messy, beautiful journey of becoming. Today's story is about forgiveness, the kind you don't expect to give to the last person you thought you'd ever have to. Our writer shares how she stopped judging, let go, and made peace with a face from her past she never thought she'd have to see again. I've always had a great relationship with my older brother. He's 4 years older than me, but our bond has always been rock solid. We shared everything. Well, almost everything. Music, stories, advice, even secrets about who we were dating. So when he told me he was seeing someone and sounded unusually serious, I was excited for him. But something was off. He talked about her often, how kind she was, how grounded she was, but I never saw a picture. Never heard her name slip in conversations the way it usually did with his past relationships. Then one day he said, "I think she might be the one I want to spend the rest of my life with." And then I knew it was serious. About 5 to 6 months later, he finally planned a dinner for our parents and me to meet her. That morning, he had called to remind me, and then he said, "I love you. I'm proud of the woman you've become. You've never let the past stop you. Keep going. I'm proud of you." I smiled, thinking he was just being his sweet self. But I wasn't prepared for what was waiting at that table. Everyone was at the restaurant, and I was 15 minutes late. Work had run long. I rushed in, slightly out of breath, walked towards our table, and froze. There she was, holding my brother's hand, laughing with my parents, the devil from my past, the girl who made my high school life a living hell, Camille. I couldn't breathe. Well, it felt like I couldn't breathe, and my legs felt like concrete. Everything around me went quiet, and all I could hear was her voice from the past, mocking me, pointing at me, calling me names while she laughed with her friends, telling people I was too weird, too smart, and not pretty enough. Next thing I felt were my brother's hands. I didn't even see him get up. I turned my head towards him and whispered, "What is she doing here? She can't be the one, is she?" He hugged me and whispered in my ears, "Please, stay. Give her a chance." Let me take you back. You know those 90s high school movies? The nerdy girl bullied by the hot, mean cheerleader? Yeah, that was me. Except I didn't get the cute guy at the end or the makeover montage. I didn't even have anyone who liked me. Thankfully, I never got locked up in a locker. But I did grow up to be smoking hot and successful. Now back then, my brother used to tell me, "Don't let this moment define you. These kids are going to wish they never bullied you, and you'll have an amazing adulthood." He was right. I'm the vice president of a fast-growing company, in a healthy relationship, and thriving on every level. But that dinner took me right back. Camille apologized that night. "I'm sorry for how I treated you back then. I was young and stupid. It was wrong, and I'm sorry." I smiled politely and said, "Sure, it's fine." But in my head, I thought, well, that's not an excuse. We were the same age, and I wasn't cruel. You don't get to say sorry and walk back into my life. She did compliment how great I looked and said, "My brother always spoke so highly of me." And I smiled again, because I did look better. Career-wise, status-wise, she was a teacher. A teacher. And I thought, what could she possibly be teaching those kids? The next day, my brother came over. Oh yeah, we fought. I reminded him how she had traumatized me. And I opened up and told him how deep the pain still was. He said, "I get it. I really do. But we don't get to choose who God sends us. Now I'm going to propose to her, and I want you to be a part of our life. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. So I stayed away. I avoided my brother and Camille almost like a plague. Family dinners, birthdays, family gatherings. I'd come early and leave right before they came, or I'd leave through the back door as soon as I saw their car pull up. When he proposed, she asked if I could be one of her bridesmaids. I flat out said no, and I laughed at the thought because I don't even know you like that. What a joke. A night before the wedding, at the dinner party, Camille pulled me aside, and she told me about her childhood. She had an abusive father, a distant mother, and rage she didn't know how to process. I couldn't relate. The beautiful life we all thought she had back then was a lie. She had stopped talking to her dad as soon as she got into college, which was around the same time her mom left him. But then she recently made up with him 2 years prior. And she finally started therapy in her final year of college. She said to me, "I hurt people because I didn't know how to deal with my own hurt. But I'm not that girl anymore. I know how much you mean to your brother, and I don't want to come in between that. He's been hurt lately, really hurt because you're not as close anymore. And I want us, you and I, to try." For the first time, I saw her, not the girl who bullied me, but the woman she had become. I went back to therapy after that. I had to. I realized I had buried that pain and dressed it up as ambition, used it to fuel my career, my confidence, my image. But I hadn't healed. I just polished the wound. It took time, but eventually Camille and I became friends. And in some ways, that was way harder than hating her, because it meant I had to forgive her, really forgive her, and also forgive myself for holding on to something that hurt me that way for so long. I had to meet that little girl inside me and tell her she could let go now. There's peace. Thank you for listening to today's story. A subtle reminder that sometimes healing doesn't come through distance, but through uncomfortable closeness. That real strength is choosing peace, even when the past begs you to stay angry. If you're carrying something old, unpack it. The future doesn't need the weight of yesterday's pain. This is Short Stories with Lola. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, be kind, be brave, and keep letting love surprise you.